Lowering your gaze is one of the greatest tools if you want to desexualize your mind. What is lowering your gaze? Lowering your gaze is something I learned from Islam, from the Muslims. When you see a beautiful woman, an attractive woman, a sexy woman, generally speaking, what would you do? You would look at her, linger, or look at her, look away, and look. But in this situation, when you are lowering your gaze, you stumble upon her because you're walking, you're out and about, you see things, you see people. You see her once, you stumble upon her, but you look away. You do not look back, and you definitely do not linger. I heard an Imam said that when you practice this, Allah, God puts a sweetness in your heart. I loved it so much. I'm not a Muslim. I'm more of a Buddhist. I love those Eastern philosophy, but I have nothing against Islam. I have nothing against Christians. I have nothing against Jews. But I don't necessarily believe in God. You don't need to believe in God to practice this. It's simple. It's something that anybody can benefit from. Now, I have to be honest. It's not easy, and I struggle with it because every man loves to look at a beautiful woman, at a sexy. Every man loves to see a sexy woman. I think that's something that women don't appreciate about us. They don't understand how visual we are compared to them. It's not on the same level. Beauty, sexiness is so triggering for us men. I read a study that shows that men release dopamine, a high level of, I mean, not as much as coke, but a high level of dopamine when they see an attractive woman. And it's so true. That's why we look at them. That's why it's so hard. It's like giving up sugar if you're addicted to sugar. If you're addicted to looking at a beautiful woman, of course it's going to be hard. But it's a good practice and it will bring you so much confidence. But you need to be a bit looser about it, especially at the beginning. You need to understand it will not be so easy, especially if you used to. If you're used to looking at beautiful, sexy women. Now, if you have this kind of practice in your life, you won't have any problem. But if you are like me, European or maybe American, and you're used to doing this, it's gotta be hard. It also applies to your virtual life when you're on Instagram, YouTube, movies. Well, I mean, movies is okay. I mean, except porn, obviously. But sometimes, like, you have to be careful, especially on Instagram, because the algorithm is so strong. If you look at one sexy woman on Instagram, your algorithm will show you more and more of this type of woman. So beware. It does not only apply to your real life, it applies to your virtual life as well. And when you practice this, you objectify women much less, especially if you're giving up porn or if you're in process of giving up porn. This practice is amazing. And woman sex porn will not be at the forefront of your mind. So you have more energy to put into something else. I think as men in our generation, we are so addicted to women, whether it's through porn, whether it's through their validation, whether it's their sexual gratification they can give us. We are so obsessed with that we don't realize how powerful we actually are. This is not toxic masculinity, it's toxic femininity. When you are loving woman, being attracted to woman, enjoying woman, that's femininity in men, but good femininity. But there's a shadow aspect of femininity. The addicted lover, for those of you who have read King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, the toxic femininity is when you addict to woman's validation, addicted to objectifying women, addicted to ejaculation, addicted to the pleasure of the senses. And in order for you to have a healthy level of femininity, a healthy level of sexuality, you need to practice things like lowering your gaze. And obviously other tools that I will speak on in other videos. But lowering your gaze, I strongly recommend. If you are able to do this to a certain extent, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be hard on yourself. You need to approach it like a game. And a game that you will get more powerful the more you play it. And also, of course, you're doing it for yourself, but it benefits women as well because you're not objectifying them as much. And Even though you have some women who appreciate the attention of men, but there's a certain level of attention they need. And when you go overboard, and when you linger, and when you look at her more than you are welcome to look at her, it's annoying, especially if you're at the gym and maybe on the street. Don't get me wrong, women have their faults too. They dress in a particular way that invite the male gaze. They have their faults too. Now, I'm not saying that women should dress a certain way. I'm just saying the way you dress will attract attention. That's all I'm saying. Now, you do whatever you want with your body and the way you dress. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about this. But no, there's certain type of looks will attract certain type of gazes. Now, that being said, for men, we can we all can benefit from lowering our gaze. And that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon.